He taps each player on the back. That just initiates the RTBS system, real-time body sensor. It gives us some very valuable information on the athlete's performance during the match. Number of kcals burned, number of kilometers that they've traveled on court, how many jumps. It's a fascinating piece of equipment that we will dig deeper into as this match unfolds. But here we go in the elimination round 32 for the men, and what a start for Germany. That will lift the Europeans. Oh, he gets the first block down, Philip Bergmann. That's got to be a dream come true to a stuffed block mole like that, Dave, in the first point of a match.
Takes a little pressure off when you get that first point. I don't know if as much if it was the block or an errant hit, but you don't really see that very often from Anders Mol. He must have surprised himself a little bit there. This team is really efficient, and what stands out the most is how technically sound they are. They don't really exert any extra energy. All their moves are calculated. There's a good look. Mol as the blocker up at the net, and Sorum as the defender.
Well, there's a good shot. This time from Yannick Harms. Up he goes, number 2 on the shirt.
You couldn't put this shot in any better position. Yannick Harms really starting off strong. I like what I'm seeing from Germany.
Service error from Bergmann. Now, what we like about the Norwegian play, Dana, we've been fortunate to literally follow them from their start of their winning career back in 2018, European champions. Then they won those 2 majors. We had the pleasure of being in the box together there, then went on to the World Tour finals. Now they're looking for their first World Championship final. But it has been a very rapid rise from the lower ranks on the FIVB World Tour to domination, a 23-match winning streak until the Brazilians beat them in Warsaw just before these World Championships.
And there's Anders Mol. Got to see it right there, up and over. He's causing fits. Look at his face. He's looking at the German player right there over the top of the net. You do not see that very often. That is an incredible view right there, just how much space Anders Mol takes up. And how about the look on the face of Bergmann? Maybe never seen that either.
Sorum with the service. Harms blocked by Anders Mol. Superb. Advantage back with Norway at 4-3. Total of 7 points on the scoreboard. So we'll make a quick side switch just to make sure there's no advantage from either side of the court.
See how far to the left Anders Mol reaches. His body's in one position. His hands are almost a full body length to the left. As a hitter, you cannot tell where his hands are going to end up.
Good jump float serve from Sorum. And another good strike of the ball from Yannick Harms, a 25-year-old from Carndel. Only 4 seasons on the FIVB World Tour, but looking like a seasoned pro out there in these early exchanges.
I like how Germany looks. They look relaxed. They look poised. And it's just about taking it 1 point at a time. Don't get too caught up in this crowd going absolutely wild and cheering for you.
Bergmann serves, Sorum right down the line. That was a tight angle to find. Squeezes it between the line and the block of the German. Good shot from Sorum.
Sorum has that no look, we call it, where he's facing cross court, doesn't even look where he's hitting, and crosses his body so nicely.
Little touch off the arm there of Anders Mol. Good play. I'm impressed with Germany in the first exchanges of this opening set. I thought this would be an easy ride for the Norwegians. I guess there's no easy ride in the World Championships, Dane, but Germany rock solid.
Germany's really playing well. They're matching them point for point right now. Oh, Yannick Arms in the back court making a beautiful defensive play. It looked like Germany had a break there that might score while serving, but they could not convert it. There's that two-handed dig, full sacrifice, hat coming off. It ends up going over the net, unfortunately, and that's a free ball situation for Christian Sorum as he just rolls it right to the middle of the court.
Yeah, the Norwegians are never going to miss a free ball situation like that. Sorum again with service. Harms is the target for the Norwegian service.
Oh, that was sharp right there. Very sharp cross-court hit by Yannick Harms, the 25-year-old. Look at this. There's nowhere to go on the line, but the angle, the sharp angle, is open.
Philip Arne Bergmann. There's a little bit of Scandinavian in that German name, isn't there? Arne Bergmann. I'm sure he's got a relative from either Sweden or Norway somewhere down his family line. Service error from the German. Easy point for Norway. 7-6. Anders Moll, the Norwegian blocker, with the service. He'll run straight up to the net. Bergmann sets Harms of Germany. Well, I have to say, Yannick Harms raising his game just when it's needed most. Excellent play.
Well, Anders Moll is a very smart player, and he has been beat down the line quite a few times. Look at the sliver of an alley between the right arm and that antenna, and Arms has really been hitting that spot a lot. I predict that Anders Moll will start taking that away, trying to funnel it cross court.
What a great save from a full power serve, and a finish from Sorum is equally as impressive. Best defensive player of the year for 2018. Most importantly about those stats, Dane, it's the players that vote, not the general public or us media and journalists, but the players say that guy was the best defender on tour this year.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more important when your peers respect and appreciate what you're doing out there. This little trickler, let serve ace, we'll call it, by Norway. And Germany needs that play, not Norway, if they're going to keep themselves into this one.
Sorum to serve for Norway. With that little float serve that Harms picks up. Oh, and this time Sorum's got him covered. It's a good up from Germany. Hustling for every ball, the Europeans. And the flag stays down. What a wonderful strike of the ball to finish it for Norway. Right to the baseline. Pinpoint accuracy.
Like that shot right there. Bergmann controls it. And then a free ball, and this is Sorum at his best. Not trying to crush it straight down, but he goes for that back line. It's almost as if he's aiming for that back line. So accurate, puts that ball exactly where he wants it.
Another jump float from Sorum to Harms. Harms on the attack for Germany. Well, Moll is there with the block. Split second, maybe too late.
Well, the reason he was late is because they ran a little quick flare to the outside. It's a fast offense. It makes Moll move laterally, and that's exactly the design, to beat the blocker. Smart play by Germany.
Bergmann serves. Oh, and Anders Moll almost stepping into his partner's side of the court there. That's an uncharacteristic error from the blocker of Norway.
You know, after the 2016 Olympics, and the German men did not bring home a medal, as they did winning gold in 2012 with our very own Julius Brink and Jonas Reckerman. Julius tells me that they created the Olympic Training Center here, and Bergmann and Arms were the first to really join and move to Hamburg and start to improve. So even though these two, Bergmann 28 and Arms 25, they're not young pups, of course, like the Norwegians, but they are part of the German system, and they're trying to make a run in 2020.
This is a good run, I'd say. They're playing way above their current world ranking. Their wildcard entrance to these World Championships. They've been together as a team for 3 years. And I think they've made some pretty impressive headway, particularly with against some of the world's best here at the Hamburg World Championships. There's a classic example. Yannick Harms striking the ball extremely well. It's 11-9. The next point will take us to the halfway stage, or the technical timeout. But many people thought this would be a little bit of a coast and walk in the park for the Norwegian #1 seeds. Not so.
And this is where you really want to watch the Norwegians, because this is where we talk about them being so mature, right? A lesser team would start to panic maybe because they're not dominating as maybe it says on paper. But these Norwegians, they're patient. They will wait for their time to strike. That's what makes them so good. But give all the credit in the world to Germany right now, acting as if they're not playing the #1 seed. They are bombing at the net, setting each other well, communicating, and playing really great defense. If they can keep this up and sustain it, they'll give themselves an opportunity at the end of the set to win it.
Well, there's German supporters with Norwegian flags. That sums up the crowds here in Hamburg beautifully. What a great shot from our director, Mickey Kugler, because it's truly a partisan crowd. They like good volleyball. They don't care whether it comes from Norway or Germany. They love the game here in Germany's second largest city, as the RTBS system shows us that Yannick Harms is one of the hardest working players out on the court right now. But Sorum puts that ball down to give Norway a break as we go into the second half of the opening set, with the Norwegians 12-10 up against Germany.
Christian Sorum loves that line shot. Even if the defense is playing it, sometimes it's just too difficult to get it up in the air. Too easy for the Norwegians. You can't put any loft on that shot, and that's what Anders Mol is trying to make you do. Go high over the top of his block. Christian Sorum waiting in the wings, and look at the beautiful extension on the set by Mol and Sorum. 100-kilometer spike speed right there an hour. That's pretty quick.
60 mph for all our viewers in the United Kingdom and the United States of America. That is very fast indeed. Lovely little back set. Oh, but Mol's got the block in now. He's been analysing throughout the opening exchanges of this match, and I think now he's got all of his angles and his timing absolutely spot on. Beautiful block from Anders Mol of Norway.
It's perfect right there. The arms are the perfect distance apart, and look at the turn. Business as usual. Just a little celebration, a little embrace, and then it is right back to business. Yannick Harms knows, I don't know if I can try that quick arm around Anders Mol anymore. He's had a lot of success up until now. Finally, Anders Mol starting to hone in.
Now, Germany used their timeout to try and stop the momentum of the Norwegian players. 3 very quick points on the board immediately after the technical timeout. Quick reminder to those of you unfamiliar with the rules and regs of beach volleyball: each team is allowed to call 1 30-second break, we call it a timeout, per set. Norway are yet to use theirs. Germany just reassessing their game plan right now. As for the #1 seeds, European champions, and of course the duo that won the World Tour finals here. And I think that stands for a huge amount for Norway. They've been with the crowds, they've learned the atmosphere. They've also learned that the Germans will be on their side if they make it all the way to the final. But I think it's a big benefit to the young Norwegian players to have won the World Tour finals here last year.
Yannick Harms gets away with it again, snapping down the line. I've never seen someone go to this shot so many times against Anders Mol and actually get away with it. Anders Mol, look at that. He knows that he is just so close to getting it, but Yannick Harms, gutsy, keeps going to what is successful. Smart play.
Bergmann serves Sorum. Sorum now attacks for Norway. Looks down that court. That is the beautiful part of Sorum's game. Christian Sorum, the older of the 2 Norwegian players at 23. His court vision is quite extraordinary. See him just take a quick little look there to see where the gap was. Four clear for Norway. Mol serves. Serves Harms. He gets him this time. And I've got the feeling that Anders Mol is serving Yannick Harms on purpose because he's getting a little annoyed that his block's been beaten one too many times.
Yeah, and like I said, oh, that goes right off his face. Did not see that in real time. This is a huge block. I told you he would make the adjustment to the line, and that's exactly what Anders Mol has done. He was missing the block by just a few inches. That ball just burning the side of his arm. He moves it to the right, and that is what happens.
Oh, again, it's that pressure from Anders Mol. I think Bergmann hit that one straight into the net, but Mol had it covered.
Yeah, if it was over the net, it would have been a block. You're absolutely right. There's the drop shot by Sorum. And then the quick over by Bergmann doesn't clear the net. Little frustration right there. But Nick, what did I say? The patience. I think we were at 6-all, and everything was looking like an exchange back and forth. All of a sudden, Norway has a 6-point lead, up 17-11.
Oh, Anders Mol, he's figured it out. Now, from frustration to smiles for the Norwegian blocker.
Look at that left arm. It goes off the left, then off of his right, and then straight down. Look at how deep the squat is before Anders Mol explodes up to the net. If you want to be a great blocker, you should study the game of Anders Mol. His technique is exactly on point.
Oh, good shot from Yannick Harms. Proves his point.
I was wondering when he was going to shoot a ball.
Exactly.
He was determined to really rip it past Anders Mol, but after a couple of blocks decides to break out the finesse. Smart move by Yannick Harms.
Well, that is such a shame for Germany because it's an easy point back on the board in this rally point scoring rule of beach volleyball. Whether you're serving or receiving serve, you'll score a point if you get it on your opponent's sand. Here's Yannick Harms again for Germany. That is out of play, giving the Norwegians a set point at 20-12. Dane, you called it perfectly just a few moments ago. What was a very tight match in the early exchanges. Norway keep calm, stay cool, and stick to their game plan. And now look what we're at for the final scoreline.
Yeah, they make adjustments on defense and really just cause fits for the hitters.
Yannick Harms goes cross-court to get a point back on the board. But the Norwegians just need to side out in this next play, and set one is over. Bergmann with the service into the net. 21-13, the first set goes to Norway. Well, that was a fascinating Dane opening set, primarily because Germany looked like they were going to hold the Norwegians by the time we're up to 6-7 points on the board. But then Norway say, okay, after the tech timeout, that's enough. Let's switch it up a gear, and Germany had nowhere to go.
It's constant adjustments as we look at the first set statistics, 1 ace each. 10-9 in kills, and then the blocking. There is the huge imbalance. Anders Mol caught fire 5-0. And how about side out percentage? 86%. They are not giving up points, Norway, when serve the ball. 55 for Germany. So Germany going to have to get a little more consistent, avoid the block of Anders Mol, but that is not an easy task. Norway's serve placement, well, we know where they're going. They're going to Yannick Harms all day long. 88% of the time, Just one ball going over to Bergmann. So they have a game plan, and that's what this Norwegian team does. They study, they watch the video, and they come in with a game plan. And right now, they're executing it.
Plenty of support for the Vikings. Plenty of Vikings in the crowd have come to see these youngsters plunder the gold on the beach. I'm so impressed with the way Anders Moll just tweaked and adjusted his game to score a phenomenal 5 blocks in that opening set. I'm not sure Germany have the answers to stop the Norwegian juggernaut plowing on through in this second set, Dane, to be honest. If you were the German coach, any words of wisdom?
I like how Germany is approaching it. You know, they're being aggressive and they're taking some risks. I'd like to see them serve a little tougher and score some points while serving, because that 86% side out for the Norwegian, that's just way too high. But that's how good Norway is.
Oh, good block for Bergmann. First point on the board in set number 2 for Germany. And that's crucial because Germany have to win this second set to stay in this elimination match. The winners go through to the 16. The losers go home.
And what's more important, that that gives them a little confidence here in this second set. We haven't seen a block at the net by Germany. That is the first block, and maybe they can make a little noise here.
That's a good up from Germany. And again, great cover from Yannick Harms. Oh, but it's block number 6 for Moll. Now he's calculated, he's figured it out from the first set. Harms needs to forget that shot now and go somewhere else, Dane, surely.
Well, it's his favorite shot, the no look down the line. He had beaten Anders Moll a few times, and I said it's not going to continue to happen. I know Anders Moll, and he takes note on every single swing. He's always making slight adjustments, and that's what makes him so good. He's not one-dimensional. He's not going to block just the same way every time. He's constantly adjusting to where your strengths are.
Jump float right down the center of the German court. Bergmann on the attack for Germany. Oh, he's there again. Oh, absolutely spectacular from Anders Moll. His 7th block of the match.
You know, watching this guy is just a treat, and I don't know that anyone would dispute. This may be the best blocker that I have ever seen on the beach. His technique is impeccable. He's so hard to read. He's very deceptive, and just getting it past him is difficult. You kind of have to poke it around like that, but if you're going to swing away, you better expect that ball coming right back at you, because this guy, when he catches fire, he's taking notes all the time. And look at the elevation. His face is up over the net. His technique is sound. And it is going to be a joy to watch this kid's career blossom. Just turned 22 on July 2nd, 2 days ago. Just incredible.
Bergmann with the service, serving Sorum of Norway. Christian Sorum now shows that he can swing his arm. Sorum shows that he knows the power play part of this sport as well. That was brutal.
Well, I think Christian Sorum heard me talking, pumping his partner up. He says, what about me? I can bounce this ball into the first row. And Christian Sorum, 23 years of age, 6'4", an unbelievable defender in the backcourt, really lighting it up.
Sending the ball to Germany at 60 miles per hour, tremendous. Oh, that is a good shot from Yannick Harms. He was way off balance, out of his comfort zone, but he got it down cross court.
This is creativity at its best. Here is the block, and then bringing it out. But the way this ball was set to Yannick Harms was a poke shot. It wasn't a traditional set. Bergmann brought out a little pokey and put it right on the spot. Spectacular set and spectacular creativity and spontaneity right in the middle of the rally.
There's over 10,000 in the crowd and they love that play. We're all tied at 3-all. Oh, look at that for a beautiful play. Sorum so patiently waits for it to fall out of the net. Just that little bump for his partner. Mol smashes it down.
You know,
I
Nick,
like that one, Dave.
That's a great observation by you, because a lot of players panic and they get to the net and they're not patient. You just let it come out of the net, then a nice quick set. Technique again. Norway showing how good they are.
Mol goes to Yannick Harms on the attack now. Sorum has the cover. Here's Norway on the attack. Making it look so easy, Christian Sorum.
So easy. And that play is due to the blocking of Anders Mol. He's trying to funnel the ball to his partner, and you saw that last one hit directly to Sorum.
Harms again for Germany. Oh, and he gets it away. As Dana's already pointed out, that is his favorite shot. But Mol was a little further into the middle of the net than he would like to have been.
You know, I can't believe that Yannick Harms went back to it, but it was successful. Got it to the outside. That right arm of Anders Mol, and a gutsy shot.
Bergmann. Good serve to Anders Mol. Bergmann, block number 2. German crowd love it, and so they should. Good play.
Bergmann made a huge move into the angle, and it was almost as if Anders Mol was taking a little out on this ball. He tried to crush that cross court, really tried to bounce the ball, and that's the risk you take. That ball can come right back at you. He actually was turning it down the line.
Well, this time the power serve from Bergmann is way too deep, a long way past the baseline. Service back with Norway. This is Christian Sorum. Jump float this time to Bergmann. Good play from Philip Arne Bergmann, 28 years of age.
Bergmann hasn't had a lot of action offensively. The Norwegians have really taken him out and targeted his partner, but that time shows that he can be an offensive force as well.
Second set going the same way as the first. Scores tied at 6-all. Yannick Harms with another big service to Anders Mol. Well, doesn't he give that ball a wallop? Huge smash on the tape of the net. But there's so much momentum on the ball, it goes over the German way. Here's Mol with service for Norway. Well, it's interesting that Mol has started targeting Bergmann with his serve, and they're being made to pay. Maybe not the best tactic. Far more success serving Harms than they are with that Bergmann day.
Well, a lot more volume we've seen to Harms, so the jury is still out here. They've switched the tactic. They're going to Bergmann. Now, can Bergmann sustain it? That's the question. Because remember, Harms, he really got a lot of solid hits, but then he started getting blocked. And Norway, definitely, this is calculated.
Bergmann now struggling to get that power serve into the court. That's his second successive service error. Easy point on the board for Norway. Back set for Harms. And a little rainbow shot over the top of the block. Helps Germany keep the scores all level at 8-all.
Yeah, take note, we are 8-all, and we have really been observing how this Norway team patiently does their thing. We were close early in the first set, then they just blew it wide open with some dominant net play. Oh my. How about that swing bouncing and almost coming up into our camera, it looked on that time. This is quite the hit by Anders Mol. Look at him get up, 88 kilometers per hour, and takes a nice, hits a nice pocket in the sand and takes a nice bounce.
It's good play from Bergmann. Going over the net on the second contact. 9-all. Still in this match, but Germany must win the second set to take it to a third set tiebreak. Bergmann targets Sorum with his service, who attacks now for Norway. Lovely angle on the ball from the Norwegian defense.
You notice how the Norwegians' offense, you know, there's no gimmicks in their game. They never go really over on two. They never go for the cute play unless they've lulled you to sleep. Then sometimes you'll see a little tricky over the shoulder, but everything is very orthodox, very controlled, and it is just a joy to watch. Wow. How about the quick arm swing? Yannick Harms putting on quite the display here in front of the home crowd. I am thoroughly impressed with his arm swing speed, his tenacity, his aggressiveness going up against this solid block of Anders Mol.
Good serve from Yannick Harms as well. Oh, and that ball could have been going out, but he's put his arm on it. Total of 21 on the scoreboard. It's the official technical timeout, taking us to the end of part one of two in the second set. That ball may well have gone out, but Yannick Harms had his hand to it before it touched the sand. Advantage back. This is where Germany now need to focus, Dane, because at this point in the first set, the scoreline was very similar, but then it's almost as if the Norwegians found another gear. Germany must not make the same mistake in the second set.
Yeah, 15 kills for Yannick Harms, just one unforced error. You're absolutely right. To this point, they played well in the first set, and then it was Norway that started to pull away, especially with the blocks up at the net. Interesting thing, we saw Norway serve Bergmann a couple times. What Germany's doing, instead of going to Christian Sorum, they have switched it up, and they're going to Anders Mol. So a lot of kind of cat and mouse, a lot of strategy being played by both sides, trying to get a slight edge. But so far, you want to know who's on fire in this match, and is the player of the match, as far as I'm concerned, is Yannick. Yannick Harms has come to play. He's a lot of fun, and his partner Bergmann has setting him up. He has been tested, and he's really answered the test, you know. Despite the handful of blocks, he's really been solid so far, but can he sustain it, though? Can he get to an 18 or 19 all tie and then maybe strike and steal the set?
It's a very good point that you made, Dane. It's the biggest match of the German duo's career to date. World Championships coming through pool play into the elimination rounds. First ever Worlds for Bergmann and Harms. And I'm with you all the way. Yannick Harms has had a sensational match. Here he goes again. And he gets the better of Anders Mol. Coming out the tech timeout, Germany level the score.
Took a little off of this one, right? He didn't hit it as hard as he could, as we've seen early on. Slowed down the pace, waited for the block to lose its form, and then he uses it out of bounds.
Bergmann finally gets his serve to work. Sorum attacks for Norway over the top of the block. Perfect weight on the ball, pinpoint accuracy, 12-11.
You know, talking to Christian Sorum earlier in the week, he just told me it's so nice playing with Anders Mol because we have the trust between each other, and we have the freedom to read every play. If we've made a call and we're blocking a certain way and playing defense a certain way, we can make the change midway through, and we trust one another, and that's been the real key to this partnership.
Here we go, 13-11, first break coming out of the timeout. It's almost like the Brazilian way of playing, isn't it? Luring you into this sense of false security, and then boom, you're in trouble. Germany need to side out here.
I'm not sure what side of the net that fell on. From the way the crowd reacted, it was on the Norwegian side. Here's a good look, a push, a joust, and yes, the joust is won by Yannick Harms right there. Could have gone either way.
Big difference between 12-13 or 11-14. Mol right on the line. The break back with the Norwegians.
Is there any way to rattle the Norwegians? I think they could be down 5 and they would have the same exact look on their face, and that's what makes them so effective. Here's a free ball. Oh my. Christian Sorum is like detonating a bomb. You can just hear it. The crowd goes silent, and it just sounds a little different when he thumps that ball straight down. So nice.
Dane, as you know, I've worked with winter sport for many years, and he has a very similar persona to some of Norway's great winter sport champions. Axel Lund Svindal, Kjetil André Ormot. He's such a cool customer. And Sorum, for me, really is the foundation of the team. Mol, creative flair, but Sorum is just such a typical Norwegian sportsman. He's great to watch.
And all of a sudden we were at 11 all. Now it's 16-12. The damage has been done. 5 of the last 6 points scored by Norway. And here we are again. They're in complete control in a blink of an eye.
It's like Groundhog Day. This is exactly what happened in the first set. And what is quite scary is, I think it's by design.
Well, it is. It's almost a second nature for them. They don't really think about it. They just know, let's clamp down a little harder. We got to pull away. And that's a sign of a great team. You know, another great team that always did that was on the women's side. Carrie Walsh-Jennings and Misty May Trainer. For years, they would let you stick around till about 15 all, and then all of a sudden it was game over. They had a separate gear to go to, and you know, they went to 6th gear, you were stuck in 5th gear, and all of a sudden it was 21-16. We're seeing the same thing here with Norway.
Very interesting. Well, let's take a look at the RTBS system. And look at Yannick Harms. He's covered more of the court and burned more calories than any other player out there. He has put his heart on his sleeve for this match. But can Germany stop the mighty Vikings? Another great score from Sorum. Norway 5 clear. And Germany hoping for a break in concentration by calling the timeout, lose another point.
You know, I don't know what to say. This team just waits for the other team to make mistakes, or they play defense, they block you off the court. They don't give away anything. And there's another block by Anders Mol. Oh my goodness, he is putting on a clinic. And this one get blown right out of control. Look at the block, the extension, the press over. He is pressing over at just the right time. 18-12, complete domination.
And block number 8 for Anders Mol. Could this be number 9? Well, Bergmann shows that he's got a shot still.
I love Bergmann coming back with some fire right there. Not backing down, not shooting the ball around. He says, you know what? I'm going out swinging.
Sorum. Again. deceives the block, deceives the defense, and the accuracy and weight on the ball, perfection.
Yeah, it was 11-all, remember that, and all of a sudden, blown wide open, 8-2 run.
Ball's out of play, another point for Germany. Norway, my apologies, match point for Norway. And literally coming out of that timeout, Norway have not looked behind. Closing down the second part of this second set with lightning speed. An amazing point run. I think it's 8 or 9 back-to-back.
Norway just doesn't give you anything. They don't give you any breathing room. They don't give you any free points from unforced errors. They don't allow you to be lazy and hit the ball blindly, or it comes right back at you. You roll the shot too high, and guess what? Christian Sorum's in the backcourt.
It's a challenge here for touch. No touch.
No touch there. And you know what? I don't blame Germany for trying. You have those 2 challenges per set, and anything to slow things down.
Sorum looks to wrap this up. Bergmann sets his partner, Yannick Harms. Holding on as best they can, Germany here. Well, it's a point. It's a foul play from Germany. And 21-13 is the scoreline in the second set, identical to the first, 2-0. The #1 seeds at the 12th FIVB World Beach Volleyball Championships march on into the round of 16. Mol and Sorum in sensational form. Credit where it's due, Dane. I think it's fair to say Germany can walk out of the stadium with their heads held high, working incredibly hard in the first exchanges of set 1 and set 2. But it's the momentum and the ability to find another gear from the Norwegian players when it matters most is the most impressive part about the Vikings' performance.
Like I said, Nick, they don't give up anything, and it was the same right here against Germany. They came out, they played composed, they executed, their technique was strong, and they were pretty stoic throughout. I don't know what it is going to take for the rest of the field to knock Norway off their game.